Hello there, it's Jerry here. We've got our RV back here in the background, and my wife really does not like the vinyl. Most of our RV, actually, the vinyl's been removed. It has almost what they call the naked look, which we like. But this vinyl that's still on there is stuck on there so well that we just can't get it off. I think it has been replaced at some point with some new vinyl. We've tried to heat it up with a hairdryer, with a heat gun, and try to pick it off, to strip it off, without much luck. And she doesn't care for the maroon and the teal and the gold, and there's not that much of it. But I don't mind the shape of it. So what I think we're going to do is try to use this Plasti Dip, which you can get from a local store. We got ours from Menards. It's about $5 a can. It says it'll do one wheel. I'm going to venture a guess that that's probably about the equivalent of one wheel worth on that side. We're going to see if we can't use this to coat it about 4 times and see what it looks like with just turning it all black. That way it matches everything else. So what we're going to need for this is the tape, some paper to block it off, and we're going to spray it and let you see how it looks. Okay, took about a half of a roll of frog tape and some of that painter's material that's there. Went over it, covered over catch any kind of overspray. One thing I did decide is there was 2 separate little lines, a gold one and the blue one. I'll get it up closer here and show you. That I went ahead, I'm just going to make those one line and extend it out a little bit and just kind of point it off. But I could have tried to do that separate, but it'll just end up looking more or less like a couple of fatter lines instead of just the skinny detailed pinstripe lines. And we'll see how it comes out. Again, I've got my Plasti Dip, 1 can. Hopefully you can coat it about 4 times. Preferably 5. If it doesn't look great, I've got another can. I could always add another couple coats. The first coat was sprayed on. You're supposed to do it real light and give it a tack coat, just a little bit. It's going to look like that it's not covering very much. I'll try to move real slow here so we can see. But just give a nice even, something for it to adhere to, more or less. It did kind of immediately take the shine off of those. It's going to make a little more of a matte looking finish on that. But that's the end of the first coat, and you're supposed to let that dry for about 5-10 minutes. So we'll do that, and then we'll hit it with another coat. Okay, I'm putting on the second coat now. I've kind of started it. You just kind of want to do some general sweeping motions. The idea is not to lay it on too thick. You're just going to be doing multiple coats, letting it build on top of itself. So we're going to be doing 4 or 5 coats, probably with this 1 can. Okay, coat number 3 just went on. It really is starting to have some good coverage now. It dries a real matte finish, this regular dip. I have a feeling it's going to end up being more like the matte finish that's on the windows here, which I think will look fine. They have a glossifier spray that when you're all said and done with 4 or 5, 6 coats of this stuff, you can spray that on there. And depending on how shiny you want to get it, you can spray 1, 2, 3 coats of that on there too. Okay, we've got 4 coats on up here, and it is definitely a matte finish. It used the entire can, first can. I'm not 100% satisfied with how it looks, so I went ahead and bought 3 or 4 cans. They're only $5 a can from Menards, so it's not that expensive. So what I'm going to do is probably go over another couple coats and use another half a can to lay it on a little thicker. And then after that, I think what we'll do is go ahead and at least apply 1, if not 2 coats of the glossifier before we peel it off, which will just bring a little bit of a gloss to it too. Okay, the 6th and final coat of the other is now dry. I'm not gonna lie, it took 2 full cans. I laid this last couple of coats on pretty heavy to try to make sure it was hiding all the color and everything. I think that it was, but just to get everything more even out on there. It looks really pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it to see how it's going to pan out once you get the glossifier on there. It should end up bringing it out, shining it a little bit more. So we're going to do a couple coats of that, and then peel off the tape and wish her well, and see how it looks. Well, there it is, 6 coats of the regular matte black and 2 coats of the glossifier put on there. Takeaways from this project. Let me just walk you around real quick here. Do I think it came out great? It's all right. It's matte black. It's got a little bit of a shine to it for the exterior, for the shiny outside. I think it'll cure on there fine. That's what it looks like now. And again, just for reference here, this is what it looked like before with gold, red, and blue. And I combined those two lines together just to make a little fatter line and made it end up looking like this. It's a personal thing. Personally, I like the look of it better like this, and it's all black. We're gonna end up doing the wheels black, and this lower part of the coach will be done in black as well. So it'll end up tying it all in together. So I think it'll be okay. The one downside I would say is it does not, because it's meant to peel off, you're meant to do it on wheels to peel off. In order to get the fine edges and everything, you've just got to be real careful and use a razor blade and not cut the coach. Just barely score that edge before you peel that off, or it could peel the whole thing off. I was extra careful and cut through there a little bit, and I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, it's day 2. I'm going to do the other side. I learned a lot from that first side. Trust me, it was a little more difficult than I originally anticipated. This time I went in and covered over a little additional. It's kind of overkill, but I got a little bit of overspray on the other side. It easily rubs off, but just to prevent me from having to rub it off the excess, I went ahead and did a little extra with the paper just to try to be a little more careful. On this side, I probably am going to use a couple extra coats of the glossifier stuff before I pull it off, just to make it a little shinier. The wife said she actually now prefers it shinier than the matte finish, so I'm not going to retape and do the other side. Nobody will ever see both sides at the same time, so that's fine. I also will mention that after we do the coats, what I'm going to do is go ahead and just lightly score the edges of this rubberized stuff with a razor blade. Do not press too hard. You will cut into the coach. You don't want to do that, but just enough to cut loose of that, and then I'll have somebody film me while I'm peeling it off so you guys can kind of see that process too. Okay, first coat is on. This side is going way easier. I'll be honest, I've learned a lot from my mistakes. I also forgot that I had this little gun thing that you can strap onto the end of a spray can. It makes a world of difference. I would definitely buy one if you didn't have one before you did this. It definitely helps with the control and precision of where you're angling this, and a lot less stress on your fingers. Again, did the first coat. I shook it up a lot better this time than I did the first time. Shook it up for a good couple minutes before I actually started. I think it actually is applying a lot evener-ish this time than it did last time. That's only the first coat. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the coats on. I won't film doing the rest of the coats, but then again, I'll cut it off and show you the finished product. Okay, well, here we are for the great reveal. I'm going to go ahead and peel it off. My lovely wife is going to assist in filming. I'll probably just cut a few sections of this out and piece it together because I'm sure nobody wants to watch the whole thing. But it's got 2 full cans on this side of the Plasti Dip in the matte black, and then I went over with the glossifier, went ahead and used 1 whole can on that. Turned out pretty good, probably a little better than the other side. I definitely learned a little bit. But I scored the edges with a razor blade real lightly so as not to cut the fiberglass. Now I'm going to Well, there you have it. There's the end result. Sorry for my shaky hands. Do I like it? It's okay. Would I recommend other people do it? Probably not. If you're on a budget, again, each one of those cans is about $5 a piece, so for about $25 and an afternoon worth of just spraying for 5 minutes and then waiting for 25 in between each coat, It wasn't hard work. Most of the work was spent taping it off. Do I like the way that it looks over the maroon, gold, and teal color that was there? Yeah, I do. I like it a lot. And it's certainly cheap. Does it look like a spray job that somebody did themselves? It's debatable. I don't think it looks bad. I think it could have certainly come out better, but because I combined a couple of lines together and extended out some other lines, and probably should have added more gloss to it to make it shinier. But best I can tell, I'm happy with it for the 25, 35 bucks it cost to do it. And hopefully it'll stay on. I don't know, time will tell. We'll be glad to give an update once it's been on there a few months, and hopefully it's still there. Nice part is if we ever don't like it and want to go back, it peels right off. You could peel it off, and once you get started at one end, it's a rubberized coating. You can peel it off later and it'll be back to that blue and gold color that was on there to begin with. Hope you like it.